podium of hell. So as I said, welcome to day 5. Day 5, everybody. How's everyone's feet on the panel? Hanging in there? Yeah? Voices?
Yeah.
Brains? Are you doing better than me?
Almost.
Welcome so much to Personifying. No, perhaps I should put the right panel. There we go. Personifying the print experience, customizing for the masses. My name is Deborah Korn. I am the intergalactic ambassador to the Printerverse. I provide printspiration and resources to the print and marketing community. Certainly one of the most topical subjects out there is digital print, but it's not that it's digital print. It's what digital print enables people to do. And you fit in that in a interesting way. So let's start off with media clip. Marion. Oh, that was very bad French accent today. I'm sorry. Marion, that was better.
That's good. That's
Marion, bonjour. Marion.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Who are you? What do you do? And most importantly, how are you helping customers make money?
Great. My name is Marian. I'm the founder and CEO of MediaClip. At MediaClip, we develop software for product personalization, which fits perfectly with this panel. We develop a software that enables the consumer to go online and personalize with photos or images or any type of media product. So I know that Deborah was mentioning a few times that she saw her face on pillows, curtains, and so this is what our software enable. What we do is, and it's been 10 years, and we start to talk about mass customization. It's a huge trend, and I see it in the customer and relationship I'm developing right now. I used to be in the photo space, so you can personalize photo products such as photo book, greeting cards, calendars. But now we move on more on the real mass customization. Now we provide our tool for customer to personalize shoes, to personalize any home decor item. So this is pretty cool. And we see the market that is getting a lot of traction. And the consumer are willing to pay more. And we all know that millennials are a special segment of customer, and they all want things personalized.
So does your software also provide the online shopping cart and all that other stuff?
Yeah, we can provide the online shopper cart. We have multiple business model. We have a cloud solution that integrates in any type of e-commerce platform. We also do have plugins such as Magento and Nob Commerce, which make the integration pretty straightforward. But we also have partners that provides the e-commerce platform and the shopping cart as well.
Thanks so much. Lee from Solimar.
My name is Lihia Mora. I'm a business development manager at Solimar. And as Deb just mentioned, people call me Lee because I can't say Lihia. I've been with Solimar for over 26 years, so I'm very familiar with our solutions. And what we offer are solutions that help customers customize their environment and personalize them according to what their workflows require. So if they need integration with some of their processes throughout the environment, such as receiving files, tracking them, provide SLA tracking, transforms, tying these things together, and then on top of that, adding a little bit of personalization to their printed documents through augmented reality is what we do. So we help tie all those pieces together and add value into the printing, aside from just tying all the things together and being able to see what's happening on their workflow.
Thank you so much. Kevin.
Merci beaucoup.
Ah, merci. Bonjour.
My name is Kevin Humina.
Humina.
Humin.
Wait,
Almost.
Let me help you. Humina.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm a founder and CEO of Chili Publish. Chili Publish is a product called Chili Publisher, which is very simply put an online document editor where you can start off from InDesign or Illustrator. And I think I'm really happy to be in this panel. We wrote a white paper last year about ization. So it's not only personalization, but it's also localization. And I think that's one of the trends we see a lot with the retailers, the huge brand owners out there. You know, we all know the Share Coke campaign. But obviously, there's a lot of brand owners who are taking that much, much further. And I liked your example about the personalization of the shoes. So we actually have a customer in Germany for a while where they sell these, I don't know if you noticed, but these collector items, these Adidas shoes and those, Nikes, and they're pretty expensive. And they said, okay, our margin is quite good, but how can we increase our margin? We have to put them in a box and ship them. So what they do now is they allow you to personalize your box, and they actually make money off the box. So all of a sudden, rather than the shipping being a costing, it becomes an income, a revenue stream. Yeah. And it's huge. I mean, they do about 1,000 personalized boxes a week. So people are buying them, to give them as a present or for their kids and so on. So I hope we can talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Danielle, Rico.
Yes, I'm Danielle Dunlap. I'm a Solutions Development Manager with Rico. And we offer our customers a complete soup-to-nuts solution that includes VDP software. We own the most popular VDP application in the world, Fusion Pro Creator, as well as hardware, VC60000, printing up to 500 pages per minute, capable of printing up to 3,000 postcards per minute. It's a complete soup-to-nuts solution. We also wrap services around there, train our customers on how to execute not only VDP print campaigns, but take it into the next level with a complete campaign, including email, web landing pages, data acquisition, as well as postal cleansing, auditing and tracking of pieces, finishing devices. So it's an end-to-end solution.
Thanks so much. Every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, I host Print Chat. I asked the Print Chatters for topics they were interested, and I formulated panel discussions. From once those panel discussion topics were chosen, I went back to the community and asked them for what they would ask panels. And these are their questions or their thoughts formulated into questions that I'm asking you. But you guys are all touching upon something, except the community is actually one step behind you. There's a step first. And we can't really have a productive conversation about personalization or customization unless we first address data. And this is what the printers are terrified of for millions of reasons, whether it is what kind of security do they need in their places with servers, or how are they supposed to instruct their customers to get data, and what is the kind of data they need that could help their customers create more applications. So let me ask the question that they actually asked, but you can answer it as it pertains to you or your thoughts about it. Do printers need to be data experts in order to provide personalized applications? How do your products and services help in this area, if at all? And I'd really like to start with Chili.
Thanks. Okay, so first of all, I believe a modern printer today is also a data management company. And there's probably two types of customers. You have the big brand owners who will never give you their data. There's data privacy laws. There's a lot of complexity involved there. But what I think you should put up as a service provider today, especially in the printing industry, is there's also mid-size or smaller companies who have need of structuring data. So why don't you invest in a product information management solution as a service that you can set up for the smaller and medium-sized customers, so that you can actually help them structure their data and then reutilize that in personalization tools, personalized print, digital, and offline, obviously. For the bigger companies, what you should be doing is you should create it's almost like a layer in between. So what you could do with those big companies is that they filter out their sensitive data, and they only give you that specific data that they allow you to print and allow you to do. So if you set up that layer and you work with web services, there's a lot to do. But it requires a little bit more expertise, but I think you should offer those two models. Small to medium-sized companies where you give them the database infrastructure, and the other ones where you set up a service that can communicate between those different layers.
I'd like to go to Rico next, because you're selling the presses and the software that powers the workflow. How are you guys tackling the data panic?
Data panic. It's an interesting question. One, we have several solutions where the customer can go ahead and self-host so that the data doesn't have to be exchanged outside of the organization. We also provide several pieces of softwares and tools that allow data acquisition, as well as management, and additional security layers that wrap around that. And we've been working extensively with new security protocols and implementing those across our software and application lines.
I want to just go back. I think we're still a little too far ahead. How do they collect data? How are they supposed to talk about data? Are they looking for an Excel sheet from their client? What is the minimal amount of data that they need in order to do something for anybody? Do you want to tackle that? Go ahead, Solimar Lee. Sorry.
I can talk a little bit about some of our thoughts or some of my thoughts based on what I know on what we can do or how we can help customers.
I want to kind of focus on getting them comfortable with the idea of handling data.
And I'm basing that off of my knowledge of what we
Yes.
do. So it might be something else that's out there, but it's something that I don't know. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about what I do have experience with and how customers collect data. Typically, data is going to be sent through a secure protocol. What those protocols are, they have to do their homework because there's always enhancements, there's always something new, the latest that is out there. If you bought something last year that's providing the secure transfer, SFTP, or some other protocol, you need to stay up to date as to what's happening. Because as you know, there are breaches all the time. So they need to make sure that they have the latest and greatest. Does that mean that you're 100% secure? No, because there's always going to be a breach. But you have to do your homework. You have to go out there, talk to other customers, see what they're doing. One of the things that we've learned is that when we have user conferences, for example, our customers learn more from each other than they do from us. Because they talk to themselves, even if they're competitors, they might discuss this because this is a problem that they have. And they say, okay, how are you doing the transfer? Well, we're using SFTP, or we're using a different format, or we're using a dedicated channel. So learn about what other people are using, and the best way to do that is, yes, we as vendors can provide some information, but we're not the ones handling the data. We're seeing it from the outside. So what we're seeing is that our customers, when they talk to each other, they find out how are they doing these transmissions, how are they acquiring the data, and how are they keeping it. After they have the data, that's where we come in and we can help them manipulate it a little bit. But to do the transfer, I would say the best approach is you need to find out what other customers are using, even your competitors, because that's a key thing. Stay up to date.
Marion, do you want to add anything about data?
From a software company perspective, we don't get the data from our
People
customers.
volunteer it to you in a way.
They
'Cause
what?
they volunteer it because they upload, they give you.
That's where
right.
I'm going, is that our tool enables the printers are your customer to get data from the end user. They will be so willing to provide you any type of information you will need, emails and so on, if you provide them the right product and if you enable them to customize their product. And I think with the millennials coming in the market, they are more willing to give all the information you want if you provide them what they're looking for.
Please, I'll give some of my blood type if I can get alien shoes. Now that I find out I can get that, it's all over next year. Everyone in here is wearing aliens now that I know it's possible. Kevin, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right about the consumer side of things. That's indeed the way to collect data and obviously use that to do upselling and cross-selling later on. Because I mean, I used to own in a previous life another business that was baby registries, and it was an online business, and we did the exact same because we knew when the baby was going to be when the child was going to be 1 year, 2 year, and then you could upsell again. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about B2B because I believe that some of the audience is also looking how to service this to other companies and taking that data. I think what you need to remember is you can take it really simple. Just set up a portal where your customers can come in. Doesn't matter if they have 1 record or 500 records, and create a data import kind of wizard where you help them clean and structure the data. It's a street, it's a street name, and it's a house number, and those are 2 different fields. So keep it simple and try to just clean and structure the data together with your customers. And just remember that you need to isolate the data per customer. You can't mix it, so make sure that infrastructure-wise you take the necessary precautions there so that you don't run into problems later on as you grow towards bigger customers. And then once you have that structured data, you can use it in your VDP tools, you can use it to go to production and stuff like that.
And, you know, we've been talking about differentiation a lot during this, during Print 17. And honestly, I'm a print customer, you know, by, you know, genes, I guess. And the thing is that, you know, one of the ways to differentiate yourself is to actually be able to have a conversation about data that doesn't freak out the print customers, and you can clearly tell them in a human way how you're protecting their information. They're going to want to be taught by somebody who's not like, you know, like on TV, they always make fun of the IT people, and the first thing they say is your computer on. And you're like, they're already treating me like I'm a moron. You know, if you can have the conversation with, look, we understand this is, you know, something that might freak you out, but we're going to take you through this slowly, and we're going to show you that with these 3 pieces of information, you can open up a whole new revenue channel. So with that in mind, how do your products and services help printers open up conversations, new conversations? Because that's very important with their customers. And what are those conversations centering on? Let's start with you, Marion. Marion.
Marion, yeah.
Marion.
You're right. I think mass customization, basically, one of the most benefit that we can get is the conversation with the customer. And we're more on a B2B, 2C, or B2C segment. However, this conversation is based on the product. And I don't know if everyone knows about Nike when they start selling customized shoes. They've realized that, you know, they had the product manager, they made a lot of research, but all the data they got from the customization part of their offering bring them so much information that for the rest of the shoe line they were developing, they knew exactly what customer wanted and for each segment. So this conversation is pretty important. And what happens is that when the consumer is asked what he likes, how they would configure the product, basically they feel that they are tied to that product or that company, and it increases loyalty exponentially. So this conversation is quite important to have either on mass customization product, but also if you have a regular standard product. And basically, I think it's Deloitte they made this research, and they find out that 1 out of 3 customers were looking for a personalized product, and they were willing to pay more for it, 20% more for it. So this is beneficial for either the manufacturer, but the consumer as well.
And I think you just made such a great point that as a commercial printer, people will give you, or a customer, if you offer a personalized service, people will give you any information that they want if it's about them, and then you can use it for other things. It's actually a great strategy. Lee? How are your products and services helping printers open up new conversations with their customers? And what are those conversations about?
I would say it's about adding value into whatever solutions or whatever offerings are out there. So if you can show that the solutions that you're providing is going to increase the interest of their customers because you're adding the latest technology, or you're adding visibility into the workflow, or giving them tracking visibility over what's happening with their data, what they're doing with their data, and on top of that, being able to add value into a document such as augmented reality, that's actually piquing the interest of their customers. And we found that, especially with AR, which is one of the latest things that people are looking into, it's actually very easy to add into documents or applications that have already been created. If they can add more information on top of that, so you have a single piece of paper where you can actually push out information that's educational, promotional, any kind of informative messaging on that document that you can change from 1 week to the next on the same piece of paper, that gets their interest, that piques their interest, and people are very interested about having this and how they can actually help out.
Kevin, Same question, but your product also creates an engagement with the customer, so you have even more stake in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always tell, I mean, one of the opportunities when customers invest in our technology is that they have one of the best demo tools in the world, because it allows them to personalize, and it allows them to create personalized demos. And I guess, you know, I mean, the guys from MediaClip will know this as well, but for us it's quite easy when we have to convince a customer, because we get their artwork and we set up a proof of concept. And we actually, as part of the onboarding, we try to educate our customers on doing that as well, because again, we were having the discussions like an agency, you know, the trick is when a customer is interested in your services, or you wanna, let's say, generate interest, if you can go there and show them their products who are already personalized in their, you know, in their mindset, in what they know, I think the sales becomes easier and it makes more sense for them.
Thanks so much. Danielle, Rico.
So we have a unique approach in which we have campaign consultant services, experts in the industry that transform the traditional print service provider into a marketing service provider. They go in, assess the workflow, what tools need to be provided, as well as train our customers, our commercial print customers, on how to engage with their customers to expand their products.
Where is the low-hanging fruit when it comes to personalization opportunities, and where are the untapped areas?
I would say the low-hanging fruit lies in the traditional VDP, simple sending out postcards for your customers. We have several packages that really simplify that process. On the higher end, we have campaign management services that incorporate print to email to web landing, and also tools that do the analytics and measure the success of that campaign.
And okay, where do you think are the growth areas for this, though, that printers should be looking to get into?
I would say moving towards the campaign management and expanding beyond just the traditional
Okay,
print.
I get you. Yeah, no, you're right. But you're talking marketing service provider area. Okay. Kevin?
By the way, I agree. I think that probably there's a mixture necessary there. First of all, I think there is still a misconception sometimes around personalization, because they say, okay, is my customer going to do that? But part of the personalization is also creating self-service, and it's being able to work on a very local level. And again, I'm talking a little bit more B2B, but you know, having, for example, if you're having in-store stuff being printed for Walmart, well, create a portal for Walmart and let them do it themselves. You know, and you're spreading out, especially when you have very short time to market. A lot of retailers are looking into that. You know, they only have a week to get their stuff out in the stores because the new season starts. But if you can share that work by a lot of people, and they can do it locally and personalize and localize it, then it makes a lot of sense. A growth area that I see is sometimes I get the chance to travel to Asia, and a lot of people take public transport over there. And what happens now already is that you actually, when you stand and waiting in front of the subway, you actually get a big menu where you just can scan the QR codes, and you basically do your shopping that way. So while you're standing and waiting for the subway, you fill your shopping cart. In the evening, you come back and you basically get all the products that you wanted. I think the next step that is going to be is to actually personalize that packaging with coupons, just like the pizza business does. When you order a pizza, you basically get a menu card with discounts to make sure that you reorder your next pizza with them again. So I believe that's going to be the next trick, is that the brand owners are going to try within that packaging to upsell or cross-sell their other products.
And I know it seems to me, since I've been around, that Asia adopts this stuff way before we do.
Yeah.
And if you're seeing something there, what do we have, like 3 to 4 years before we're going to start seeing and hear about? But
yeah,
it's
I
coming.
would say, obviously Asia is a big region, and not every country is the same. But like,
I didn't mean to categorize, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I mean, they're probably 3 to 4 years. But the thing is, they they sometimes just don't care and they just do it. You know, it's like
Right. Yeah. Lee?
I would have to agree with that. It's being able to take something that's existing and maybe adding value as quickly as possible. Personalizing something like that, like messaging, can actually be very simple. So I believe that kind of like the low-hanging fruit is to take a look at an environment, find out what is currently there, and try to plug in whatever they have with the newer technology and giving them the ability to personalize. An example may be exactly that. If you have, let's say that we're talking about statements. If you look at a statement and there's an evaluation that goes on every month, and that messaging that's being added, if we're talking either coupons or something that's tied to the document, if you tie it directly to what's on that document, it's going to capture their attention. And you can do this, as I was mentioning, if you're doing an AR experience, that you can change it from one week to the next and base it on this person's spending habits, or base it on what this person or these companies, where they're spending their time, and you're giving them information that they're already out there looking at, but you're pushing out to them. That's easy to do. You already have the data. You just have to do analytics on it and then personalize it. Take that information, evaluate what it is that's most interesting for them, and if you can push out information, coupons or advertisements or even educational information applied to what their interest is, that is easy to do.
Yes. And they'll have an emotional connection to it.
Exactly.
Right. Marion? Marion.
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 In our market, I would say that the low-hanging fruit is probably all the photo stationery markets are offering products like greeting cards and calendars. I think it's been years, and the consumer is aware of that. However, what we see a lot also is printers are buying our solution to sell to their business customer who are brands, by example, or then we'll try to do a promotion just like Coke did, and M&M is doing customization on their product as well. So our tool is becoming a marketing enabler for their business to differentiate themselves or to make any promotion. And I think this is where the growth is coming. In 2021, I think it's going to be a 30 billion market. So obviously, there's a lot of opportunities for everyone here to get their piece of shit.
So if a printer is like tentative about spending money on a software solution, do you like rent it or lease it or let them use it through you so they can try it and see if it works?
Yes, we have all those models available. So we let the printers try the software. There's no technical implication, at least he has a customer. And we help them for the integration, and depending on what they want to do, we're pretty flexible on the business model. We have different ways of providing the service as well.
Thanks. Okay, so, I want to talk about, we always talk about personalization, data personalization, but let's talk about actually cool ways that people are using personalization. So, and let's inspire some people out there, whether they're designers or printers, to have, think of their equipment, their output devices in different ways. So what are some creative ways in which your customers are using your customization tools, or Kevin, however that applies to you too in a way, but you're fine. And however, I'm looking for realistic examples. I don't want to talk about giant brands. I want to talk about the printer on the corner who is helping their local market. Anyone want to start? Lee?
Sure. Sorry to be repetitive, Deb, but
No, it's okay. Hammer it home. Bring it home.
A perfect example is that having a transactional document, and it can be direct mail as well, but with transactional documents, we can gather the information, or our customers can gather information about what's happening with that person's information, and they can directly apply it to them. Now, adding augmented reality actually is very, very easy. The key is, and the trick is, to be able to personalize it. And the way we do it is we take that information and we can supply a video or a little cartoon or something that's kind of interesting and fun. And for a coffee shop, they can actually add a coupon that says you're going to get a discount on your next coffee. Or if they're looking at the spending habits again, they can say, okay, this is the type of coffee that they drink, or this is where they like to go to the movies or whatever. So it actually personalizes by looking at that and offering a discount or offering a video that's applicable to them, using their information saying, dear John, this is the coffee that you had last month. How about you have one on us this week? Something along those lines. So the more personal you can get, in this case, to a coffee shop, or if you're doing anything else, I think that is a trick.
I was actually talking about that the other day. Left items in shopping carts is a big business, could be a big business for print. And West Elm had sent out a mailer that Damtar was showing people where it was a picture of the lost items in the shopping cart, and they were saying, take us home with us. But if they applied a different model to it, if my item's in my shopping cart and then maybe a month later I get a coupon in the mail that says, hey, it doesn't have to remind me that it's in my shopping cart. They already know I'm interested in it. And there could be another level of communication if you're paying attention to that stuff. Kevin, you want to take this question? Some creative ways in which your customers are using your tools and your tools.
Tools.
And
Okay.
some realistic examples.
Okay, I'll go back briefly to the pizza business because we have a customer, Sutter Strauss from Wisconsin, and they're a printer, and one of their customers is Toppers. Toppers is a local pizza chain. It's not your Pizza Hut or something. There are about, I think, 30 or 40 local pizza delivery stores, and they basically set up a portal for them, and they allow them to go there, personalize their mailers, personalize their menu mailers, because it's a very competitive market.
Wait, so each franchise can do its own
Yes.
stuff? Clarify that.
Okay, sorry, I go too quick. No, absolutely. So each franchisee, so you have to understand that these people are not really interested in doing complex artwork stuff. They're quite busy trying to sell pizzas. But what happens in the pizza business, it's very, very competitive. Because you typically have a few pizza delivery guys in the same neighborhood, and they look at each other. One does a bottle of Coke for free if you reorder. The other one does 2 for 1. So they have to be very competitive and respond within a week on those changes. So they allow locally that pizza store or that franchisee to personalize the promotion or the coupons or the vouchers on that menu mailer, and they then centralize all the orders twice a week to optimize the print cost for the pizza chain. And I think that's a really good, simple, I think it's local, it doesn't have to be this huge brand owner. And if you go and tell your potential customer a concept like that, I think they'll see the ROI quite quickly.
And one of the major themes in these discussions has been less touches.
Yes.
That's less touches, my
Absolutely.
friend.
Cutting out the middleman.
Not that I want to cut out my advertising people because
No,
they're my peeps.
Some
but-
middlemen.
Hello, but they're not getting that job anyhow. It's the printers who are going to be bogged down with changing files for absolutely no reason.
Because don't get me wrong, the agency is still involved in this. They do the actual.
They sent up the template, but they
Absolute.
don't have to deal with the imprinting stuff.
Absolutely.
Right. And then you also have opportunities for hybrid printing because you can create large volumes in offset, and then you can personalize and customize, regionalize, languageize, all your ization points in the digital technology. So it's really a perfect marriage. Marion?
Yeah.
Well, we already know they're making shoes with your damn software, which is basically what I'm going to be doing as soon as this panel
No,
is
but
over, just so everyone knows.
But some ideas, for printers who wants to provide customization service in their local community. We have some customers who went out and looked for the sports photographer, by example. That hockey moms are ready to spend a lot of money to put their child on any type of project, on mugs, on whatever it is. So I think this kind of opportunity is pretty simple to achieve, and there's a good potential for it.
In America, we call that the mommy market. Everybody
market,
wants the mommies. The mommies they will put a picture of their kid on anything. The dog people too. I'm not going to put a picture of my cat on things because I don't want people to think I'm a crazy cat person. But if you've got a dog, they will put that picture, or a cat, or a kid, they'll put those pictures on everything. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and this is how I started my company. I was looking to put my, my kid's picture everywhere, and I
Oh.
didn't find anything.
You
so.
see, you're one of those mommies. So you can tap into the mommy market. And look, there's my mommy. You can tap into the mommy market. Do you
Yeah.
have a question? Dante, please.
Yeah.
Does your software work with
Yes,
WordPress?
yes, we WooCommerce. So it works with any type of e-commerce. So Magento, WooCommerce, BigCommerce. It's a little bit tricky with Shopify and some, hosted platform, but we manage most of them.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Did anyone, Rico, did you answer this question for us?
No.
Please do, because you also have the presses, so that should be interesting.
I'm thinking of a particular example where we have a commercial printer down in Florida that prints season tickets for
Shout out to
NFL.
Florida. Shout out to Florida.
Shout out to Florida. That prints season ticket holders. And they personalize those packages and not just delivering the tickets, but delivering value that extends by really creating art. When somebody receives these tickets, they're coming back next year and upgrading those tickets and getting the upgraded package because it's a beautiful thing that they've just received. It goes beyond just the offering to really expand it.
Right, and again, it's helping what is essentially a piece of paper with ink on it create an emotional connection with the person who it is communicating with. It's not just something you give to somebody. You're saying something. What is it when you care enough to give the very best?
We
right?
value your business.
Right. I mean, I was saying this the other day. The cannabis market is a ridiculously huge market because they want to do everything in print because it gives them credibility. And personalization, when you send somebody something like that, it kind of shows that you care in a different way. This is the last question I'm going to ask because the Printerverse is really about walking the walk as well as talking the talk, which a New Yorker should probably not say that phrase, walk the walk, talk the talk. But how are you using personalization and customization in your own marketing materials? And, because in other words, you're going to lead by example here. And how can people get in touch with you after the show? Rico. I know, I get your stuff. It's all personalized.
Let's see. Our marketing people do a beautiful job, and it really starts off with the data and the data analytics, and looking at what do our customers have, what offerings could we do to enhance their business, and customizing that campaign and that response to each individual customer and customer type. As far as getting a hold of me personally.
Sorry?
Getting a hold of me personally?
Oh, no, Rico. Where's Rico in the booth? What's your website?
We're at booth 20.
Unless you want to share your phone number, Danielle. I mean, there's some gentlemen in the office or audience who are asking for it now.
Yeah. No, we're over at booth 2022 today, and I would love everyone here to stop by the booth and see we've got a full set of software and services. We've got our consulting team over there. We're also at rico-usa.com.
And you guys are going to be hearing a lot more from Rico, I think, starting this year, next year. Tracy's here from Breakaway Communications, amazing partner of mine for a long time. Thank you so much, you and your team. But Rico has been a little understated in the coming out and shouting about their products and services, and I think this year they're really going to start to have more conversations. So I want to thank you guys for joining us, and thank you so much, Danielle. Chili Publish, how are you using your own tools in your own marketing, and how can people get in touch with you? Kunomana?
What, marketing? What's that? No. Okay. I think, to be honest, it's mostly event-driven. So just to give you an idea, like a couple of years ago, we often do actual seminars that we organize, and we always try to think about how can we send something fun to invite people. And a few years ago, when everything was going mobile, we managed to create an iPad stand in carton, and that was basically our invitation, and we completely personalized that. I mean, it's like I'm just giving you a small practical example because in the end we don't do that much. We show how our software works.
No, but that's cool. How can people get in touch with you? Because, I mean, I told you this at the first panel I saw you. There's really not a year that you're not involved in the Alliance and speaking on panels that you don't say something that I basically steal for the rest of the year as my talk tracks. So thank you for being my ghostwriter, even though you don't
Send you
realize.
the bill.
I will send you a bill. Don't worry, I will gladly bill you. So tell people how to get in touch and why they should, check out your software, go to your webinars, sign up for your newsletter, all that kind of
I
stuff.
think that's a good thing. Definitely check out our webinars. We try to do them regularly. I think that's a really good way to understand. I mean, we don't just try to make it about a product. We actually try to make it about customer examples. And even if you're not becoming a customer, you can still learn from it and maybe apply it. I mean, doesn't matter. Hopefully one day you will then become a customer. You can find us on our website, www.chili-publish.com. Obviously, our Twitter feed, we're quite active there. And you can come and see us today at 257.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your support. Lee from Solimar. How are you guys using personalization and or customization in your own marketing materials? And how can people get in touch after the show?
I would say one of the ways is that we've added AR quite a bit into our marketing materials, whether they're printed or on our mobile applications. So that does provide that level of, oh, this is how it can be used, and this is actually a pretty cool application. People get amazed with the AR. It's kind of fun because you can do pretty much anything. So we are using it to push out our message. They can get a hold of us through solomarsystems.com. We also have a Twitter feed, LinkedIn. We have webinars from time to time. And recently we've created a new interaction site on our webpage where we used to push out our material, educational material, but now we're actually personalizing it for each of our customers. So each customer that's interested has access to our training tutorials, and we actually create a personal site for them, specifically for them. So if we have webinars with them, they can go there and check them out, and it makes it very easy for them to get information.
And yesterday, Solimar had a lunch event here, and they mentioned 3 words: variable, augmented reality. So all we're going to say about it, get in touch with Solimar and find out how to get in that business today.
Yes, and you can go see us at booth 2458 as well.
Thank you so much, Marion. I know how you're using it. I had dinner with Andre, and he took a picture of me, and I was a pillow. Then I was a curtain. I wasn't any shoes, though. I'm upset about that. I wish I would have known. But how are you using personalization and customization in your own marketing?
Yeah, it's been years we're pushing our customer to have them send, they already have the consumer photos. So it's easy for them to take those pictures and send emails with, the customer photo rendered on pillows or whatever. So the consumer gets really engaged when they see their own picture on the real product. So eventually we realized that we could apply this for our own marketing. so we start using it by using our customer or prospect pictures, sending a rendered product to show them what our software enable, basically.
Wait, so I just saw a picture of myself as a pillow, but you would have sent me a pillow if you were actually...
By email, yeah. No, no, we don't actually sell the pillow, but we shall
I
preview.
I was like, I got gypped. I want my pillow.
Yeah, but we could do it.
I know you could. Andre, I want my
it's
pillow.
very good ideas.
How can, first of all, thank you so much for taking a chance coming down from Canada. MediaClip took a space in this exhibit, in this show, so that they could be part of the Printiverse. So we really do appreciate when someone takes a chance on us, and I hope it was worth your time. It was certainly worth all of our time to learn from you, and certainly MediaClip is something I truly believe in, which is why you're in the Alliance. How can people get in touch if they're still at the show, and how can they get in touch after?
Yeah, sure. We are at booth 4543, just around the corner here. But you can also visit our website, mediaclip.ca. We do webinars. We have white papers. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and so on. So there's a lot of point of contact. So you can reach out at us, and we can send you also a link to our demo site, so you can play with the tools, and then we can have a great conversation on potential ideas, because I could sit here for hours talking about opportunities, So I
Me
invite
too.
you to give me a call.
Thank you so much, panel. Really enjoyed this discussion. We have another panel coming up in 15 minutes, which I will tell you what it is. And before Jack yells at me, everybody stay here. We're going to take a panel picture. But let me just remind everybody what is our next panel, and then we will move along. X marks the spot, the rise of next generation print shops. I bookended this panel with one-stop shopping. Because I truly believe that now that the baby boomers are getting out of the way and the Gen Xers are taking over, which is me, by the way, we have lived our lives in the dual technology, so we get that social media matters. We get that technology matters. We don't believe in the way that things were done around here. We want to talk about next. So this should be a very interesting conversation coming up. Panel, thank you so much. Everybody out there, thank you so much for spending your time with us. And we'll be back in 15 minutes. Thank you.